Hey there, I'm Dr. Hillary Heschauer from Rangeline Chiropractic in Carmel, Indiana. As a chiropractor, we go over and utilize a lot of health insurances. And some common things that I've been asked lately are about their insurances. So, big surprise, not all of us understand insurances and what that means and how to effectively use all of that. Because if you're paying for that monthly, shouldn't you be using your benefits or knowing what they are for that matter? So today I just wanted to go over some commonly asked questions or some things of what to understand about your insurances, and hopefully that will help you in your healthcare, but maybe knowing what kind of plan to pick in the future if you're given that option. So I'm going to share my screen and show you just a quick little bullet point that I have typed up about insurance questions and kind of go over them. But please feel free to reach out to me. A lot of patients are surprised that their insurance covers chiropractic care. And I would say in our office, about 90 to 99% of our patients use their insurance benefits. So if you're not utilizing that for your chiropractic care, that might be something to talk about. And we often do. We have patients just send in their information or over the phone, and we can look it up on a portal. So as a provider, we have a portal to look up benefits and just specifically chiropractic benefits. So that is something that we are happy to do for you of no charge. So I'm going to share my screen and show you my quick little Word document that I made. Is nothing fancy. One thing that we go over with all of our new patients is kind of what to expect with their insurances and what things mean. So surprisingly, we get a lot of questions about what is their copay and what is a deductible. So just those terminologies in general. So in our office, like a copay is, let's just say you have a $25 copay. And that's going to cover everything in one visit that day. So if you're coming in multiple times a week or per month, it's that copay amount every visit. The great thing about it is copays will cover a variety of things. So you might have 4 items done, like you're getting a great adjustment by one of the doctors here, and you're doing a massage chair. Maybe you're doing a little neck traction and massage, and maybe you're doing an exam or an x-ray or something. Like all of that is bundled into one price for you, and that's called a copay. Now, a deductible, on the other hand, a deductible means you have a certain amount that you need to hit before insurance will start paying. So let's just say that you have $1,000 deductible. It's the beginning of the year. Does that mean that you have to pay $1,000 to me as your chiropractor? No. What the deductible means is until you hit that amount, their insurance won't pay for anything, but they give you a discount. So when patients go, well, I have a high deductible, it's $10,000, I'll just pay out of pocket. And I say, well, just so you know, you actually get a discount. And so I'm going to suggest to you to run it through insurance and get your discount, even though you may never hit your deductible. And that's totally fine. But again, you pay for this insurance, you might as well use it correctly and get the discount. It doesn't help me that you get a discount, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here to help you and get you feeling better. And I'm going to be honest with you about what's going to be the best and the cheapest route for you, but still giving you the great healthcare that you need. So for an example, an adjustment at our office of the spine is $55, okay? Let's say you have Anthem insurance and you have a $10,000 deductible and you're like, I'll never hit it. I'll just pay out of pocket. Wait a minute. If you submit it through and we bill through Anthem, they give you a discount, and so your cost is now $24. So the rest of that money is just gone. That's called a write-off. And that's just what I tell my staff. It's like poof, it's out into the air. It's just gone. No one is responsible for it. No one pays for it. That's what is called like a contracted rate or an obligated rate, because I contract in my contract with Anthem and I say, yes, Anthem, I will accept your $24 and I will just write off the rest of that and the patient will not owe that. So a deductible may help you even though you think it's so expensive, but just remember when you have a deductible, you don't owe that entire amount to the office that you're going to, okay? Then you might have heard the term called a co-insurance. So that's often correlated with deductibles. So the co-insurance means the you and the insurance company are going to together and they're going to pay for part of that. So if you have a deductible, let's say it's $1,000 and you met it all, great. So now the co-insurance steps in. That means they are going to pay a portion and then the rest will be left to you, but that's still on the contracted rate. So for instance, 80-20 is a normal split for our co-insurance that we see in Indiana. So the insurance will pay the higher 80% and you will pay 20%. It could be 60-40, it could be 50-50, it could be 90-10. The insurance will always pay that higher percentage number. So for an example, if $55 is my fee for a adjustment of the spine, and you've met your deductible, Anthem's going to pay 80% of the $24. So they're going to pay the $19.20, and then you're going to pay the remainder. It's like $4.80 for your adjustment. And remember, the rest of that is just called a write-off, and that's gone into thin air. So then your visits here are $4.80. So you can see how utilizing your insurance does benefit you in a lot of ways. And so what we do at our office is we go through that, we look up everything, we write it out. What we have is what we call like a financial policy, like here's what we found, this is what that means for you. And that's always subject to what the insurance company deems on the EOB, or called explanation of benefits. There's a few names. It's like the piece of paper or on your portal where it says what you've done, the office procedure, and then the amounts everyone pays. So the EOB is like the final creed, so to speak. But we call the insurance company. We encourage you guys to look up your benefits online, and that way everyone knows what's going on, so there's no surprises. Another thing you might see on your policy is what's called a visit limit. So another common one we see for Anthem patients is a 12 visit limit. That means, let's say you have a $25 copay, and 12 visits allowed per year. So if you need more than 12 visits, you will then pay the out-of-price pocket of the $55. But up until then, you would pay the $25 copay, and you would get as many services as you wanted that day, all for $25. So it's kind of great to use those up and do all the therapies that you want to do, all the extra fluffy stuff, and then come visit 13 when you're going to pay the normal prices of $55 for an adjustment. Maybe by then you're done with your therapies and exercises and exams and x-rays. And so all the extra stuff, you could just pay for your spinal adjustment. And that's good if you're kind of watching your cash flow. I think of it like a bonus. Like, that's awesome that your insurance will pay for 12 of those, or they'll give you a big discount for 12 of them. It doesn't mean that they have to cover every single visit that you have. We have to remember, insurance companies are a business. They're not here to help you and make you feel good all the time. That's how they make their money, is by denying things and offering these large policies that aren't covering things for you. So, I mean, I hate to be that skeptical person, but I am. So when patients go, well, they only say I can come 12 times. No, they say they're going to pay for 12 of those, or they're going to give a discount for 12 of those visits. So like, you're lucky to have 12. I mean, some patients don't have any. So think of it as an extra bonus. Hey, good, I get those 12 of them. It's not meant to tell you that you can only come 12 times a year. The insurance company can't dictate your care because they don't know you like your doctor does. So they don't know how many visits you need. That's just a standard plan that they have. And so it could be up to your employer. It could have been something that you picked. In any event, that's what it is. Some patients ask me, well, after the 12th visit, can I ask the insurance for more? I've tried several times, and I submit all of our notes showing that you need more. You say you need more. Sometimes your HR department gets involved. But the thing is, it's what the policy is. It is what it is. And then we should just be happy that we had the 12, is kind of how they say it. And they sum it up like that. So 12 is 12, or let's say you have 20, or let's say you have an amazing employer and you have unlimited. So it is just what it is. Another crazy thing you might see on your policy, I've been seeing more and more the past 2 years. So it's called a copay with a deductible. And that's just totally confusing. It's confusing for software systems. It's confusing to understand. I get it. We do the best that we can. A lot of the times they're saying, you're going to pay a copay, and it could be per thing. Like you could have a copay for the spine adjustment, but then let's say you want to do massage chair and neck massage. Well, then that will go towards your deductible. So it's keeping track of two separate things. Or they'll say, once you hit your deductible, then you can pay your copay. I like to call these like the wild cards. That's a crazy thing that just started. I feel like they're doing it just to confuse us, because it does confuse everyone and we don't really know what to do or to charge. We do our best that we can here to help you understand your plan. But in the end, it is your plan that either you picked or your employer picked. And so we're just trying to help you guys understand it and know how to utilize it the best. You may have like an HSA, so a health saving account, and that is seen very commonly lately for people with like a high deductible. So let's say you have a $10,000 deductible, but you and your employer is contributing money into this savings account. And then it's like using a card, and you're using that to pay for benefits. So even though you're not getting a huge discount from your insurance and you're still paying because you're never going to hit your deductible, that doesn't mean that you're like saving money by doing it that way, or that it would save you money if you had a higher plan and paid a copay. I personally, myself and my family, we have a high deductible, and then we have an HSA that we contribute to it. What I've been taught is that you get to add so much per year per family member, and then it rolls over the next year. So what I didn't use last year is still in my account, and it's actually building interest. So one might think that the HSA might be a good way to put money in that's not taxed, and then to utilize it even as like a savings account. So just a little thought for you, something to look into. But I love HSAs. You put your money in there. Sometimes employers match what you put in there. And then you could have a plan that's a high deductible plan that is cheaper than some of these bigger plans. Because if you're like me and my family, like we don't really get sick. And if I need to go somewhere or to a doctor, then I'd rather just pay for what I want and the doctor I want to see, and the pediatrician or the family center that I want my family to go to, versus, well, are they in network or out of network? It's just a hassle. So I would rather just pay with my HSA, and everyone do our annual checks and exams, and everyone do our blood work how we want it done, instead of being dictated by what the insurance says we can or can't get, or where we can or can't go. Because again, they don't know you. They're a business that they're running to make money. So I always laugh when I have patients ask me like, well, they said this or that, or I'm like, yeah, but they don't know you. They're not there for you. I know that you're just talking to a rep on the line. I do think like the HR people, I think they do a great job at trying to understand everything. And I do think that they're there to help you. I do believe that, but the insurance company themselves, it's a business. So I hope that this helps you a little bit understand more. Like I said, at our office, we get your card, we look at everything for you, and we kind of go over it to the best of our knowledge, what that means for you, because we don't like surprises any more than you do. And when we have an insurance company that verbally tells us on the phone, yes, this is covered on this patient, this, and this, we then get an authorization code, or like a call number. It's usually like a so many digit number, and that is in their records saying that that rep told me that patient has this covered. Because what I've also seen is I go to submit it and it's denied. And I'm like, hey, this rep on this date gave me this code and said that it was covered. And so I have it documented. So always make sure you document who you're talking to, what time of day you talked, the date, obviously, and then ask them for like any authorization codes or any codes that are going to, you can look up that conversation later, because you know they record everything. So it might behoove you to have everything documented in case you have an issue that arises. And so I have seen that quite a bit, and even where the patient and I were told the same thing on the phone, and then the insurance company later denies it and they say no, and then both the patient and I say, well, hey, so and so told us this on this date, and we, there's two of us that have the same information, that's more likely to get overturned that way. And I have seen it go in either way, either for or against the patient. But remember that you guys are the policyholders, and you have more clout than I do calling on your behalf, because it's either you that's paying your bills or your employer. And if there's so many complaints, then perhaps your employer would choose a different company or a different plan. So something to think about. I know we all like to use our insurance in this world, in this day and age. But reach out to me if you have any questions or if you have any other topics that you'd like me to go over, but I'm happy to help. We definitely don't want any surprises at our office. We are happy to accept your insurances. There's several that we do. There's so many, I could just make a list. And then we try to know the ins and outs of all of them. And some of them are a little tricky, and we try to learn the tricks as best as we can. But they change every year, and they don't always change at the beginning of the year. It could be, June 4th, they decided they're going to change something else. And sometimes they send out notices and sometimes they don't, but we kind of roll with the punches. I think that's what we all try to do our best. And we are happy to help you at Rangeline Chiropractic. Reach out to me. I'll put some information below this. And again, happy to help in any way that we can, whether or not you are a patient here. Have a great day.